You were watching you're watching the startups out of the Rec Innovation Lab. These are all of the student founders, the people who are starting companies based on just ideas. They came to us with ideas, and we're helping them to turn those ideas into actual companies. And part of that process is working with Productified, with Alex Triener, on successfully creating crowdfunding campaigns. And Alex was actually, he was voted as the favorite, the most influential mentor at the Rec last year. And it's easy to see why. He's just great at helping people to navigate their way through this really complicated process, and to actually raise funds. Been very successful, helped us raise the funds that we then turned into, oh gosh, I think we ended up giving out something like 19 or 20 scholarships on the money that we raised through a GoFundMe campaign. And those scholarships were $250 each. So we raised quite a bit of money in a very short amount of time. Thank you, Alex. And that money just went straight to the student founders to help them with their companies. So that was really huge impact. So we appreciate everything that you do, and we're excited to have you here with us today and to talk a little bit more about raising funds for the businesses. And welcome, Alex.
Thank you so much, Tanya. Thanks for having me. Good afternoon, everybody. I wanted just to acknowledge those videos. Incredible, really incredible videos. And Tanya, again, congrats on the successful raise on GoFundMe. It's fantastic.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you.
All right, so guys, we're gonna talk today. Let me see if can you see let me maybe move this bar. I don't know. Is there a way to minimize this bar, by the way?
So you can change the view up at the top where it's the view itself, but the bar, I don't think so.
Yeah, I was trying to minimize it. In any case,
it's always in the way. It's always in the way. Yeah.
So our goal today is basically to go, to understand what GoFundMe, how easy it is to raise capital, and basically go through a virtual process of setting up our own campaign. So you guys may remember from my previous presentation, there are 3 types of crowdfunding. So I just want to quickly lay it out so you guys will see and understand the differences between them. So there's a donation-based crowdfunding, where you can see GoFundMe and 2 other companies, including this Facebook as well, by the way. Reward-based crowdfunding with, led by 2 huge companies, Kickstarter and Indiegogo. And there's an equity crowdfunding, which has lots of companies. One of ours, you'll probably remember, presentation by WeFunder here in San Diego. So we're going to focus today on donation-based crowdfunding and specifically on GoFundMe. So this is a screenshot of crowdfunding.com, and it basically outlines for you different options of crowdfunding here and what are the pros and cons between them. I'm not going to go over those, but just to let you know that such resource exists, and you can go again, crowdfunding.com. All right. So why GoFundMe? So what is this? So GoFundMe is actually, I'm saying one of them, but I think it's the world's largest crowdfunding platform, and definitely one of the most popular, became a household name. They've raised, between 2010 and 2019, more than $9 billion people raised through GoFundMe, and it's way more than Kickstarter and Indiegogo combined, if you just think about this, with over 120 million donors. I don't know their most recent statistics, but it's just going and growing. So interesting factoids about GoFundMe. It's been founded in San Diego by Brett Demhoves and Andy Ballester. Andy Ballester is actually our advisor. So we've learned some insights from him, which I'm going to share with you. So what are the benefits? First of all, GoFundMe is I believe, maybe not the only, but at least they definitely have 0 platform fee, meaning that you don't have to pay anything at all to them. they only have a payment fee just like everybody else, because when people donate using credit cards, there is like 2.9% of the payment fee, and there's a few cents per payment, I think. Also, GoFundMe, to go on GoFundMe, there's no upfront cost whatsoever. So, for example, if you go on Kickstarter, you need to set up a legal entity. You need to do a significant preparation. No such thing on GoFundMe. Absolutely zero. It's very quick and easy to set up a campaign, which you will see in a second. And of course, it gives you a non-dilutive capital. Kickstarter and Indiegogo both also give you non-dilutive capital, meaning that you don't have to give away parts of your company in exchange for the money that you raise. And finally, there's no need to demo your prototype or even to share your idea of a business, because donors will support you personally because they know you and they will support your mission. But if you have some kind of a secret that you don't want to share with the world, you don't have to. All right, so now we're going to dive into a playbook, basically how to set up a GoFundMe page. So these are the screenshots from GoFundMe. There's nothing specific here. I'm just going over them just to show you how easy it is and highlighting some nuances. So first, this is your first screen as you starting. Of course, you need to sign up. Yes, you need to create an account. That's obvious. Once you've created an account, you start your campaign. So it's very easy to say where you are. Just here's the zip code. And then here, you just need to keep in mind that they have a number of different categories. You need to choose this business and entrepreneurs category. Then you need to name your campaign. This is important. So what's your fundraising title? So you want to give it some thought ahead of time, and you want to test it with your friends and family. Like everything else, it's agile development here, right? So you don't want to do anything that without testing. So before even going through this process, you need to prepare this title, and you also need to prepare your campaign story and make sure that you share it with your friends and family, that you test it with them and you get feedback and you edit it accordingly. Next thing is you have to set your fundraising goal. And of course, all of us want to set up higher goals, but they say if you're unsure, start with just $1,000. If you hit it quickly, then you can basically create an update and say, hey, thank you so much to all of our donors. We've just hit 100% of the campaign goal. And with this money, we can do ABC. And now we're increasing our goal to $2,000 or whatever, right? Or $10,000. And because we now want to accomplish XYZ. And then you need to upload a picture of your campaign. Of course, I put the picture of San Diego, America's finest city, but you need to prepare a photo, and I will talk about. So they have specific requirements to formats of images, and it's important to stick to those because it will give you the best visuals. So, and of course, you want to prepare these things up front. All right. So after you've done that, then the next step, which is to tell your story, which you write here. Of course, you don't write, you copy and you paste it here, obviously. And we will talk about specific components of the write-up. So you need to add some links, you need to add some photos and videos to make this, like every web page you build, right? It needs to be attractive. So these are the tips from GoFundMe. You can see in there, there's nothing secret about this, right? You need to describe who will benefit from this campaign. You need to explain what the funds are for, why you're raising capital. You need to explain how soon do you need the funds? Is it urgent or not? Talk about how meaningful it will be to you, and of course, to say how grateful you will be for their help. Here are a few tips from us. One is, again, because people will support you personally in your mission, not necessarily your business or your product, right? It's a mission of your business. So you need to define it, and then very clearly and very concisely. And again, you need to test it with your friends and family. So I would encourage you to go and read mission statements of such companies such as Disney, Sony, or maybe other companies that you like. Specific things about Disney and Sony is that their mission statement is not about them, it's about the customer. And this is something that you do that inspire others. So next point here, again, I'm repeating this maybe fifth time now, but it's really important to remember that people who will donate to you, they will donate it to you personally into your mission, right? So focus on that, on your mission, not on your business, but on the mission of your business. And of course, lastly, that I've already said a couple of times, it's apply agile development principles here. Write up your draft before you even publish, before you even put it on a page here. Share it with your friends and family, and get their feedback. So you need to get feedback on in the beginning on three things: on the title of your campaign, specifically on your mission, to see if it resonates with your future supporters, and also on your entire story, on your entire page. And the story is not only your write-up, but it's also your links and your pictures and videos, if so. All right. So once you've done, you get here. Your fundraiser is ready. Okay. So let me move it out of the way. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it gets in the way. So you simply hit next here. There's nothing to do here, right? It's just so easy. So you see, guys, I just basically set up the entire campaign practically. And then you need to share it. So they give you a link and you go and you share it in your social media pages. All right, so that's pretty much the entire thing about setting your campaign. So then there's a little nuance here, which is you can actually raise as a team. So usually startups, and specifically startups in reg, have multiple co-founders or actually teams. They don't have to be co-founders. So it's very, very beneficial to raise as a team. So invite your team members. You can add more team members. Doesn't have to be 3. And they say, where is this? Yeah, they say that team raised three times more funds. Well, they're just assuming here, but if you add 20 people, it will be 20x more funds. I don't know, but point is, spread the word, add more team members. If you feel that somebody, your friends who are not necessarily your team members or your family members, your mom will be vouching for you, and your mom will reach out to all her friends. Right? Put her on the team. The more the merrier, that's for sure here. Right? Sometimes less is more. In this case, more is definitely more.
Can I add something?
Of course. Oh yeah, of course.
So I want to say that I wholeheartedly agree here. You definitely want more people sharing. The more, the better. And then also for those founders who are at the rec, sharing those videos it's just such a good way to get your story across. And people love they love videos, they love photos. The text, it's important, but not as important as getting those videos and photos. So yeah, I just wanted to add those couple little things.
Oh, of course. And Tanya, not just you, but anybody else who has experience raising on GoFundMe, if you feel that you can contribute to this presentation, this is for the sake of all of us. So please say something. And if you feel that my information is not on the point, then also I would appreciate your feedback right here in real time. And it says specifically here that your team members cannot withdraw funds or edit the story, right? So you basically as you're starting the campaign, you're in charge of the campaign. All right. And you need to craft, you can craft a nice email to your team members, but you better talk to them directly, right? If they're your team members. All right, and I wanted to share with you an example of this campaign here.
Okay.
Oh, of course.
I'm sorry. I was going to ask a bunch of straw man questions that people may not realize what they need to ask, but I'll wait for you to finish this then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe. Okay. Yeah. I'm almost done, Ray. So yeah, let me just. All right. So guys, I just wanted to show you just randomly selected campaign, not so randomly because it's so successful. As you can see, it's an insanely successful campaign. They're close to $500,000, right? From $7,500 close to, right? This shows you basically, usually donors would follow you, so they have approximately the same amount of followers as the donors, and then that's how many people shared on social media. So more people share for you, more chances for you to enlist some donors. And you can just basically go on GoFundMe, you go under business category and you see how they do it. So in this particular, so Tanya, you just said that too much text is not good. I completely agree with you. And yet here they have so much text. It took me like I'm clicking once read more, twice read more, 3 times read more, 4 times read more. Come on, I'm just like, I'm gone now, right? And
But
then
there are pictures.
these nice pictures. And look, this picture is worth like not 1,000 words. It's worth 10,000 words.
Right.
Look, this is their founder. He's created this. This is this founder. He's 90 years old. He's busy cementing. Oh my God. Put it in the top. I mean, maybe more people will donate. Who knows? And of course, and they have all these cool pictures. Look at this little girl running. How inspiring that is. In any case, so and then they put here updates, right? So I just wanted to give you a little bit of flavor how the campaign page looks like. Of course, you can go there on your own and find it, but the point is, I'm here to encourage you to how easy it is. All right, so this is a pre-launch checklist that we put together, right? Don't forget the title. Don't forget your mission. Don't forget your fundraising story. Now, when creating a video, right? You need to write a video narrative first, and then or script, whatever you call it, right? And then you want to get feedback on the script before you record it, before you make the video, and then you make the video. I wanted to tell you that the videos that Steven showed us, before this presentation were fantastic, but they are, they take a lot of time and effort to edit. They're also professional edited videos. These days, I tell you, you just go for authenticity. You don't have to get that fancy. Sometimes it actually may have an opposite effect. But if you just take your phone and record this video and it's very authentic, you look in the camera. By the way, when you're recording, don't look at you, look into the camera. That's one of the tips of recording authentic video, right? Because if you're looking at yourself, people may think that you're one of those narcissists today on social media. No, I'm not passing any judgment. Narcissists have been around forever, I guess. They just didn't have phones, for the past several thousand of years. Point is, just be authentic, try to appeal to people and be genuine. And it doesn't have to be super fancy, because if you're trying to to create a fancy video, it will take you, it may cost you a lot, and it might take a while. But if you do it like, 1-2 takes, it's done. It's so easy.
Right. So right back, I just was going to add that saying that we love at the Rec, and that is that perfection is the enemy of progress, and it's so much more important to get it done than to get it done perfectly in your mind, right? I wanted to, do you have a second that I could ask one quick question?
Sure.
Okay. My question is this: how do you feel, Alex, about doing like rewards for different donation amounts and giving things like branded t-shirts or something like this?
Well, I think that GoFundMe actually doesn't support that, so it's not easy to do, and you kind of opening up yourself to something, you're making people think, right? So there's this book that Don't Make Me Think. It's about user experience.
Right.
So people on GoFundMe are conditioned to donate, and that's it.
That is such good advice. Don't make me think. Sorry.
So if you make people pause, like, what now, rewards, like, and then how do you keep track of those rewards? Kickstarter allows you to do this naturally, right?
Yeah.
And people out there are conditioned to do this, but here you just don't want to throw people off. Also, I'm not sure if you go into so it's a great question. I don't have a complete answer to this, but I think what part of the answer would be to go into their terms of use that GoFundMe publishes, and they might even actually prohibit you from rewarding people.
Well, I remember back in the day when they first started, that was part of their platform, but it was so long ago. There must be a reason that they don't do it anymore. I mean, obviously. So yeah, thank you for.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I didn't give you a good answer, right? So I am kind of pitching here as an expert on GoFundMe, and yet I don't have an answer. I don't. So I'm just throwing some things to think about, right? Some considerations. But I think, as I said, it's so easy to go, download their terms of use.
Yeah.
It's going to be a PDF or it's going to be online, and
Right.
just search it electronically for like reward, something, right? Or maybe it's the word prohibited,
Exactly.
and
I'll
see
find
if
out.
it.
I'll find out.
All right. So next so after video, there are pictures. So there's some statistic that says that 5 or more pictures make a difference. So you want to have at least 5 pictures. And the sizes, I have a slide on those sizes, right? So you need to prepare those pictures, of course, ahead of time. So you could, like, once you put up your page, you just go through this, everything is handy. Now, part of your story is to justify the goal of this fundraiser, right? I am raising $1 million today because I want to, my mission is to do ABC, and I need this much money to do this and that much money to do that. So that's easy. Or I am raising $25, okay, I'm raising $2,500 because I just want to create 10, you're paying $250, right? Sorry, you're muted, Tanya.
I just realized that. Sorry. Yeah. $250 scholarships.
Yeah. Just because we have 10 amazing students that we would like to raise money for scholarships for them, $250 each.
Yep.
Easy. Boom, one sentence, you're done, right?
And
You gotta have a business bank account, ideally. If not, if you're using your personal bank account, maybe create a kind of a separate, maybe create an additional savings or something, or open up a bank account just for this.
Just don't do it. The right answer is never have your personal bank account when you're taking money from others.
Yeah.
Yes, not too hard. And by the way, you were right, Alex. It's prohibited.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
You're right.
You see, I've been able to answer you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ray, your advice is great, and I completely agree with you. Yet, when you take people's money, it needs to be well respected and be put on a separate account. The problem is that if you don't have a legal entity, right, you won't be able to get a business bank account because you got to have but it's so easy. You can basically create a sole proprietorship, and you can instantly get online on the IRS website your EIN, right? Yeah, your employer identification number, and with that you'll get yourself a business bank account.
Yep.
Yeah, the only downside is it will cost you money per month, but that's life. I mean, that is what you're just going to have to end up paying for.
Yeah, but so many banks today are available. I'm sure you probably can find a business bank account when it does not.
If you find me a business bank account for free, dude, I will be all over that.
Okay,
but
there's one
telling
for
you.
free. Ray, I'll talk to you afterwards. I know a couple free ones. I'll talk to you afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we have.
Well, we should do a list. That would be a great help. Just
Yeah.
for people.
I'll share.
Thank you.
Share with everyone. Yeah.
But I have other questions that I think people should know about using this. But I'll wait further.
Sure. Yeah. Almost done, right? So yeah. So I am. When you're talking about a business bank account, there's one piece you want to have some money to put into it. So I am here to help you with that piece, right? With collecting money to put in a business bank account. If you don't have any money, the bank account won't help you. All right. Then you want to also prepare ahead of time an email to your friends, family, basically, asking them to donate, right? Again, craft and then draft this email and send this draft to your close friends and ask for their feedback. Because you will see that, no matter how good of a copywriter you are, it's going to be challenging. So you will get some good feedback. Then craft a thank you email to donors, right? So it's going to be, you need to craft an email, but you need to craft a post. And so it will look like a post, and you need to ask your donors to post on their social media pages that they actually donated to your campaign, and they can invite their friends to visit your campaign. You don't have, sometimes people that you don't feel comfortable asking directly for donation. You can ask them to support your campaign by just spreading the word. And some of them will donate and some of them won't, but at least if they repost it, it will give you more chances of this campaign goes semi-viral, expanding, right? And then you need to, ahead of time, to create a list of milestones and write maybe some update posts. Because once the campaign is going, and if it's going well, you won't have much time sometimes. It's going to be so much pressure that it's best if you do it like offline ahead of time. You prepare, like think of what's going to be the milestones, and I will share with you in a second. And again, remember to test everything that you do, right? Test it, every piece of content, video, even pictures, test it with your family and friends. Make sure that it resonates with them. Make sure that it doesn't accidentally, tick them off the wrong way for whatever reason. You never know. All right, so these are some useful links. I'm not going to click on them. I just want you to be aware. This is how GoFundMe works. How to write a story in 5 easy steps. It's all publicly available stuff on GoFundMe, right? A comprehensive guide to writing your fundraising story. I just want to save you guys time, so you won't need to hunt for those, right? Here's how to ask for donations, some tips, and also some tips on team fundraiser, but pretty much it's like as simple as just inviting your team members. Okay, so there are some best practices here. So this is a list of best practices. I just want to go over them. I think they're important. We still have plenty of time. So direct personal request to donate when you feel comfortable, that they work best. They're the most effective. If you can do it in person, but of course you're going to wear a mask, and usually robbers wear masks in banks and they ask them to donate as well. It's just a nerdy joke. Don't mind it. But the point is, these days, if you ask somebody in person, most likely you'll be wearing a mask, so that could create maybe some unwanted sensitivity. But you can go on video chat. You can give people a phone call, because emails too, but they sometimes feel impersonal. But if you send an email, make sure that it feels personal. Make sure that to each person that you send it, add maybe, or at least those who that count, add some piece of personal detail of your relationship with them. So the key to successful campaign is to ask your donors to spread the word. It's very, very important. The math is simple. Let's say, an average person, you have 1,000 people in your network, right? Who are relatively close to you, between your Facebook, LinkedIn, and whatnot, right? But if you ask each one of them to post, and they each one also have 1,000 people, all of a sudden you're going from 1,000 to 1,000,000 people. Even obviously, not all of them will repost, but you see how these numbers, exponentially explode. So by asking them to spread the word, you basically significantly increasing chances for variability. And just ask him, hey, especially for those who did donate to you, hey, I just donated, that many dollars to my friend on his GoFundMe campaign, and add the link. And people just, people are so super curious. They will go, they will hit the link, and they will end up on your page, and who knows, maybe they will donate. Important thing is, I don't know if GoFundMe fixed this issue or not, but our customer, she edited the campaign on her phone, and it made images to disappear. Maybe she didn't do something right, I don't know, but just you guys maybe want to test it for yourselves, or just to stick to your desktop browser. Then of course, which is obvious to all of us, to if they have an app, they do have an app, install it on your phone and check it on a daily basis, at least once a day, once the campaign is going, obviously. Every time you get a push notification or an email from GoFundMe that you received a donation, thank the donor. Try to do it immediately. You're going to have a pre-written email. Just add donor's name and send it to them, and thank them, and so on, right? And then you can thank them through GoFundMe page, but you also desirable that you follow up with them through personal. Something personal, like at least email, or maybe even like call them. And if it's your mom, something it's and if she is close, or your dad, right, visit them. So it's important to send updates post updates. I wanted to show how it looks like, but you'll see it. So anyways, GoFundMe has a very structured process to create an update. It's not gonna interfere with your story on your page. And here's examples of milestones. First donation, 10% of the goal met, and so on. You get the point, right? And then again, once you hit 100%, you don't have to stop there. You can increase your goal and say, hey, we've done this. Now we're gonna do this. We're gonna use our next $1,000 or next $10,000, for the next, and it describe what is the use of funds. Include what it means for a mission, for a business, in your deliverables. For instance, I am going to design my prototype. I'm going to use these funds to do 50%. To design my prototype. Or I've completed 50% of the design. I just finished my logo. I've submitted my provisional button application. I've purchased domain name and whatnot. Right. So you know how that goes. You need to send an update at least once a week to keep the interest high. Maybe even twice a week. Every day it will be, I think, too much. You need to ask your donors to subscribe to your website, to your newsletter, to your blog. So you need to think of your donors as your supporters going forward, with your business, and then basically keep them as your network, or at least ask them permission to use their emails to send them updates going forward. Okay, and then finally, I think this is basically pretty much it. So this is, just to make you aware that there are recommended size of photos of images or photos in pixels for different purposes. Here's for main campaign page, for this and for that, right? You can see it here. I'll share it with you. All right, and this is my last slide. So if you'd like to get a free copy of this presentation, all you need to do is please go sign with us on Productified and request it from us via Contact Us. And also, we are now offering a new piece of service for free for now. If you need to hire an expert, a freelancer expert on Fiverr, we will help you with the process. It's tricky, you need to know how to communicate with them. We've done this now a couple of times, and we've learned a lot, and I'll be happy to share it with you. At that point, thank you so much, and questions. And I know that Ray had some points, but I will let Tanya to direct questions.
So thank you so much. I really appreciate that, Alex. Really, really great advice. And I can say, I followed your advice, and we were rewarded because of it, all of us. So, and I might take you up on that freelancer with Fiverr. Okay, sure. So let's start with Ray. Do you have a question? Do you want to ask a question directly to Alex here? And if you are talking, you're muted.
I'm not talking yet. I was just waiting to see if anybody else had questions in chat. To be fair.
Oh yeah, there's a chat here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. We're good for now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I think what's really important is to distinguish. So what's the difference between this platform and, let's say, WeFunder, which is also San Diego based, by the way?
So the main difference is GoFundMe is donation based, and WeFunder is equity based. So to go on WeFunder, you need to have a true startup. Investors on WeFunder are actually angel investors. So you have to set up a company, and you have to have a significant traction. Here you can go as early as you just have an idea and you just do a little bit of market research, and you actually think, you know what, I am going to build a business. So you say the mission of my business will be to feed children in Africa. I don't know, like, I'm just throwing it out there, right? And this is a very noble mission, and you just publish your mission. But how you're going to do it, you're going to have a specific secret sauce on how to do it. You actually don't have to disclose it.
So I think that's really great for people to know. This is something you can do immediately. WeFunder, it's equity based, and you need to be just essentially ready to be for your Series A, fundraising. So totally.
Nope.
Different.
Nope, not true.
Well,
Not
not
Series A.
Series A, but
No,
close.
no.
Close.
So basically, no, this is really important. So, and this is, I'm working with WeFunder. So they start at $50,000. I'm sorry, Professor, but
No, go ahead. Yeah.
this is really critical for everybody to understand. You need to know your audience. You need to know where you are. You need to know your platforms. And there's a lot of different ways
So
to
we
do it.
had, yeah, remember we had the founder, one of the founders of WeFunder come and talk to all of us here. So we do need to be, it is equity based, WeFunder, and that, so it's
Yeah,
more
it's right
for-
here.
yeah. Mhm.
So
Right.
we found it is right here underneath equity base,
Yeah.
right?
That's correct.
Even, right?
And the thing is that so you have to think about. I get that there may be people that have a lot of money that get through on this type of platform, but typically not. Okay, so what is the minimum investment somebody can give to as a donation on this platform?
A dollar
A
is
dollar, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. See, so that's the distinction between this and so if you think about it, you need 100,000 people to give a buck to get to $100,000. And so that's just what you have to think about in terms of marketing and stuff like that. The other thing, do they have a rolling? So in other words, if you don't get to your goal, let's say you put $10,000 and you only get to 6,000, what happens?
You collect whatever. So there's no limitation there.
Mhm.
Right.
It's so you probably you may be talking about Indiegogo. On Indiegogo, the specifically they have two types of campaigns on Indiegogo.
I'm just asking for you to give more detail into spaces because these are going to be really important, I think, later on for people once they get into.
Yeah, right. So Ray, it's a very valuable. So let me just expand on your point. So guys, on WeFunder, usually you would go and you would raise money like from any angel investors, right? It's slightly different because it's a platform, right? But point is you gotta have a team, you gotta have some traction.
Yeah.
And you can raise a very significant capital. You can raise a multi-million-dollar round even from angel investors, up to, of course, right? So that's WeFunder. In exchange, of course, you'll have to give pieces of your company. GoFundMe, you do it early on, day one. Again, you wake up in the morning, you had this great idea, right? You go do online market research very quickly. You think, oh, I got something. You go talk to your customers, on the afternoon, and then in the evening you say, you know what, I'm going to start my GoFundMe campaign. Yes, I might be able only to raise a couple of $1,000s, as little as that, right? But I can use it, to do a few things. Here's what I want to do it for. So some people raise on GoFundMe. I just showed you $500,000, dollar campain.
But
Don't
not
think
really
that this is something that you will raise, right? You will raise a much smaller round, but it's your first money. You no sweat, really easy to do, no upfront costs. You can actually set up your campaign, with all your story and feedback from your friends within a day, right?
Right.
Nothing happens within a day, of course, but like few days and you're done, right? And you just get it going.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have there's a few questions I know of. Felipe has a question to raise hand, but there's a couple in the chat first. Nika had asked if there are any, I believe she's asking if there is any measurable amounts for the donation. Oh, that need to be reported. So do we need to report for tax purposes? I would suppose anytime you make income, you're going to need to report for taxes even, but
Yeah.
I don't think they give do they give like a 1099-G at the end of the year, or
It's a great question. Let me turn it to you. Did they?
They didn't give me one, so
Okay, so I will have to check it.
Yeah, and then
I will use the recording of this, right? You're gonna put it out in the open. I will use your recording. I'll go over the questions, and I'll do a little research. Thank you. It's a great question. I don't have an answer, unfortunately.
Okay, and then so Felipe, would you like to go ahead and ask the question?
Yeah, sure. So first, thanks for the presentation, Alex. I'd like to ask you, what are your tips about creating a business mission?
Tips for creating a business mission.
Well, I think that it needs to be inspiring, right? And it doesn't have to be very concrete. It could be vague. usually things that are much vaguer, they're more inspiring, right? You can think of our politicians. I'm not going to name names here, but you can think what was a campaign, what was a presidential campaign slogans. This campaign, 4 years ago, and then 4 years before then, and so on, right? You can just go. I mean, these are big things, very vague, right? Like nobody gave away their trade secrets or their secret sauce.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the beauty of this, right? Like, for instance, I know that when people go on the Kickstarter and Indiegogo, they have to describe, or for that matter, for these platforms, for equity crowdfunding platforms, you have to describe your business in great detail. Yeah, you keep confidential stuff on the wraps, but people can knock off your product and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Beauty of this, you don't have to. You don't tell them what product you're developing. You just tell them that I'm developing product to help, this to do that. That's it. And so the biggest tip that I have is, if you've never crafted yourself a mission statement, look for good examples and inspirations. And as I said, start with Disney, start with Sony, and just think of some brands that you like for yourself, or better yet, think of some brands that you are, that are in your market segment. That is, let's say you're trying to build a company to, I don't know, to do like energy drinks, right? Go look at energy drink companies, look at their mission statements, right. And you can find stuff that you like. You can find stuff that you dislike, and those will be best tips for you.
Right. Now,
Thank
we do have another question from, thank you very much. So we do have another question from Danny Yun, who was wanted to know about how much traffic you actually get from GoFundMe if you don't have a fan base or a sphere of influence to start from. He said, is a successful campaign mostly from you spreading the word to your own network and growing from there? And I'll let you answer that, Alex. And I know from my experience, yes, it's who you know. And
right, yeah. So it's a great question. I can tell you this, that even on Kickstarter, that prides themselves, and so Kickstarter is actually more engaging than GoFundMe on surface, right? Because people go on Kickstarter to look for cool products, to look for cool projects. Mm-hmm. Whereas on GoFundMe, it's like donations. It's not that cool, right? If somebody has cancer, I don't think anybody, like majority of us, will enjoy just reading the story. It's really sad, mm-hmm. Right? But even on Kickstarter, although it's so engaging, you start looking at random campaigns. What are the chances? You know how many campaigns they have every day? They have more than 1,000 projects every day. Mm-hmm. Unless you have absolutely nothing better to do with your life, you can spend hours and hours going through those campaigns. So expecting random people to even support you on Kickstarter is not the right thing. So it's all about you driving traffic. But what GoFundMe has, they have what they call viral loops, right? And the idea of a viral loop is that when a person feels, like when a person has how do I put this? What, I'm actually not an expert on this, but and I'm maybe getting into some.
Are you talking about their backend algorithms when you?
Yeah.
Well, I think even if you were an expert in it, they keep it pretty hidden. They don't like to share a lot about what that.
Right. But the point is this: for each one of your donors, right, or even visitors of your campaign page. Yeah. So the initial traffic needs to be created by you, right? But if somebody visited your campaign page, whether they donated or not, GoFundMe makes it really easy for them to post about your campaign on their social media pages, and that's what creates real traffic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's basically like SEO, right? So we have another question from Beata. So GoFundMe ranks really well in Google. I found that out accidentally, but Googling my name this weekend and finding my fundraiser for my dog's surgery from last year for the first result. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So that's not a question, that's a statement, but it's a great statement too.
But yeah,
I like it.
So do we have any other questions from the audience? All right. Wonderful. So I do have a question to the audience. Stephen, do we have a survey that we could share with them?
Yeah, I was gonna drop that at the end, but let me go get it right now.
So what Stephen is going to do, he's going to be putting a survey in the chat. We're going to ask all of you, please, if you wouldn't mind just responding to that survey, letting us know what you think, feedback. We read every single thing that you put, and then we will also make sure to share the PowerPoints. If you want a copy of it, please do sign up, productified.com. Anything else that they need to do, Alex?
No, the website is still in construction, work in progress. But yeah, I just I sign up, and I will email you the PDF of this presentation.
Perfect. We do have one last question from Danian, who wants to know about the fact that he has a service or a platform, not a product, which most of us aren't making things here in this country in this day and age. But is it easy to campaign on GoFundMe with a service instead of a product?
So as I said, I want to reiterate. Remember, mission. The key word here is mission, right? It doesn't really matter what you have, if it's an app, if it's a web platform, whatever that is, right? There's no limitation like that on GoFundMe. There is a limitation like that, for instance, on Kickstarter. If you don't have a physical product, you cannot start a campaign on Kickstarter, because they looking for actual rewards. And even the subscription, I mean, recently they started, I think, but normally it's much harder to if you don't have a real reward. Here you're not giving away any reward, so it doesn't really matter what type of product you have, and you don't have to describe your product. You only have to describe your mission. Let's say you said you have a platform, right? So let's say you have a platform, as I already said today, to feed children in Africa, starving children in Africa, and that platform makes you money. It makes money to people who feed them, and it feeds, it feeds children. It's win-win-win, right? And it just does it and the secret sauce is because you play with taxes. You found a way to play with taxes that is a win-win-win, except for Uncle Sam, right? So you go on GoFundMe and you keep your secret sauce to yourself. You don't talk about your Uncle Sam and taxes. You say, my mission is to feed people in Africa, without actually it costing a penny to those who donate to those. That's pretty much it, right? Or you can even keep this to yourself. You just want to feed people in Africa. Of course, you need to explain a little bit more, but you don't have to go into a secret sauce on how you do it.
I don't think you ever want to say what the effects will be on the people giving, because that could be a problem if it's not true, right? Be careful, is what I'm saying.
I didn't say anything.
Oh no, you said because it's free, it's free to you. Be careful. Just say why you want the money, is what I would say.
No, yeah, I said I was specifically referring to your secret sauce, right? Because as I said, one of key concerns of people, based on our market research, of going on Kickstarter or Indiegogo or all these other platforms, you have to disclose a lot about your business, lots of details about your product. And sometimes, because you're early stage startup, some other companies, trolling through Kickstarter, they may see your product and they may just basically knock it off, even if you have an IP around it, right? So that was one of the big concerns. But here I'm specifically saying you don't have to not only describe your secret sauce, but even on not so secret sauce, right? You just talk about your mission. You don't say about how you do it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I do have a question from Enzo. So Enzo, did you want to go ahead and ask directly to?
Yes. Thank you, Tanya. First, thank you so much, Alex, for doing this. I have a really simple question. For the equity-based crowdfunding, are all of them, I know this is not really the focus, but all of them, do you have to be an angel investor to access the campaigns and donate, or are any of them open to the public?
Yeah, there are two types. So I first of all, a disclaimer: I am no expert on donation based, but there was a Jobs Act that was revolutionary, right? You can look it up. That basically allowed non-accredited investors to be able to invest into startups. right?
Mm.
So just the history goes that, throughout the history, of the stock market, there were many people who are unsophisticated. They were swindled of their savings, right? Because so the United States government came up with a protection act that you have to be an accredited investor. The idea of being an accredited investor is not only how much money you have, but the idea is that you're supposedly sophisticated enough to know for yourself, to know better, to whom invest and do your own due diligence. But today, with the Jobs Act, these platforms, they do due diligence and they present the results of due diligence to general public. And now you don't have to be an accredited investor to invest. But there are different regulations. So the company itself that raises money needs to decide if they want to go with only accredited investors only, or a general public. There are different regulations from the SEC standpoint. Again, I'm just giving you super general information. I know very little about this, but that's how it goes.
Oh, thank you very much. That helped a lot. Appreciate it.
Right.
I'm sure
All right.
Ray knows better about this, and he can probably give you
I
layers of it.
answered in chat. The answer is yes.
Oh, okay.
So I'll go ahead and
You guys are right. Good one.
that's a pretty short answer for you, Ray. So Alex, would you like to take us out? Is there anything you want to share with the audience before we all head off with the rest of our Mondays?
No, I just wanted to say, I really enjoy this stuff, right? I wanted to thank you guys. I mean, nobody ever voted me anywhere, honestly, right? This is first time in my life, and I'm not a young person anymore, that somebody voted me. So I'm like a junkie right now. I just keep coming back with these presentations because I want to get voted to something again, right?
Well,
It's been maybe more rewarding to me than it's to you.
oh,
So I'm
well,
super happy to share with you my little knowledge here.
we appreciate it so much. So thank you so much. Thank you all, everyone, for being here. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. And definitely reach out if you need help with your crowdfunding. Alex helped us. I mean, honestly, we raised over $5,000 in less than a week. So it was amazing. So thank you,
All right.
everyone. Take care.
Thank you, Alex.
Bye.
Thank
Good to see you
Alex.
again.
Bye.
Great job, Alex.
Hey, Billy. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Hey, thanks, Ray.